What is going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another Bring the Juice Colts podcast live stream. Thank you guys so much for tuning in on this Saturday evening. Thank you all. Hope you are having a great Saturday. What's going on to everybody in the chat? Jeff Cena's in here. What's up? Kowalski Charles, what's good? What's up? Sports Glory, hi. Sports Edit 22, hey. Angie Norheim, good evening, Colts Nation. What's up? Hunter Peterson, how you doing, man? Trey Day, let's go, man. What's going on, everybody? Thank you all for tuning in here. Just going live today. Just wanted to, basically just have a little time and kick back and interact with everybody in here. I know that we didn't have a ton of, right? You're not him, man. I could see you. But anyways, guys, yeah. Thank you all for everybody who's tuning in right now. But just wanted to have a chat with everybody today because I feel like I haven't gotten a chance to really do a lot of content this week. I feel like I've kind of been lacking, not only in the amount of content I've been putting out, but the quality of the content that I've been putting out too. So want to do a favor, guys. Make sure that you're liking this stream. Let's get this out to more and more people. I will do my best also to try and I'm going to try to see if I can get anyone to hop in here as well. I'm going to go ahead and actually copy this. Like I said, guys, I'm going to try my best to see if I can get some content creators in here. But we'll see if anyone hops in. Gonna get some content creators in here. And whatnot. We'll see how it goes. But appreciate everybody hanging in here today. Derek got a fresh cut. I see you, bro. Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate you. Who do you think we're going to pick in the draft? Yeah, that's a great question, and I definitely wanted to kind of address that in today's video or live stream also, if we can help it. But like I said, guys, once again, make sure you're liking the stream. Make sure you're commenting. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And most importantly, like it, because if you like it, helps it to bring out a bigger audience. That's obviously what we want over here. So greatly appreciate anyone that is doing that for me. But yeah, just wanted to chat about some Colts related topics today and, just kind of have a conversation. So I think I'm going to start getting into the habit of streaming a lot more during the week, because we're not going to have streams for games until next year. So might as well go out and try to get some more of these videos and with these live streams that get covered. Give me 1 second here, guys. Just making sure that I'm if Bo Nix is there at 15, they will take him. No, they won't. Do you think that wide receiver is still a position of need? Yeah, give me 1 second here, actually, guys, because I think, let me pull this up for Cody here because he posted a tweet. There we go. Some people had some ideas for topics to discuss today. What about you and Cody and other Colts streams interview Coach Shane, rookies from this past season and GM? Yeah, I mean, that could definitely be an option. I would love to get a quick chat with Shane Steichen at some point. It's the off season. He's probably busy being around family, so I'm sure they won't ask him to take time out of his day to be with his family right now. But hey, I mean, there's always a chance for that. There's always been chances. We've actually, I mean, we used to have a few interviews with Coach Frank Reich back in the day, so there's always a chance for that. Asking, what do you think is a logical jump for AR next season? I'm hoping for 700 yards rushing, 3,200 yards passing, 10 touchdowns running, and 17 as long as he's healthy. I mean, here, let me and again, guys, I'm very sorry if I can't get to every question because you guys are bringing me a lot of questions here, and I will try to get as many as I can for sure, and we'll continue to talk about a whole bunch of different things. I mean, let me just say this: in 12 quarters of football, not even, Anthony Richardson had 7 touchdowns, right? So just going off of your numbers with the 700 yards rushing, let me pull up the numbers completely just so that way I kind of see what we're looking at here. Yeah, in in the 4 games that he did play, and he didn't play in all of them, had 577 passing yards and 136 rushing yards. So if we apply that to a 17 game stretch, I mean, that would be right around 600 yards rushing. And oh, no complaints allowed. Derek, you asked for content ideas. Bro, Angie, I'm gonna definitely try. I mean, there's just no, I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying we can't just ask Colts PR to get us an interview with him and then he just goes right into it. I just can't do that. But as far as passing goes, I mean, at the end of the day, we'll say, I mean, yeah, the numbers are extremely skewed due to the fact that he didn't finish half the games that he actually did play in. I will say this, in the 2 games that he finished from start to finish, he averaged about 212 yards passing a game. Okay, so let's just think about that for a second. If you're having 212 yards on average throughout the season and you play for 17 games, let's just say even 16, if we wanted to go from that number, so 212 times 16, I mean, that's 3,400 yards. And that's it saying he misses a game in the season. So 3,400 yards, I mean, that's not bad at all. You want it to be a little bit higher, but 3,400 is very reasonable from that perspective. And I mean, let's talk again about the rushing yards that he got in the 2 games they finished. Averaged 48 yards times 16, that's 768 yards. So yeah, from a 16 games, if Anthony Richardson were to miss 1, and looking at those numbers, Kowalski, that's very realistic. That's very logical to think that Anthony Richardson, after a year of having mental preparation, understanding the game, learning things like that, that he could get 3,400 yards and 700 yards rushing. 100%. Very, very capable of doing such a thing. And 10 rushing touchdowns. I mean, if he averages 1 a game, I mean, that's very easy. He's going to hit 10. He might hit that. And 17 passing touchdowns. I mean, like I said, in the 2 games that he finished, he had 3, right? So if you just multiply that by 8, that's 24. So very, very, very likely that he's absolutely going to make it work. I don't want to rely on Minshew anymore. Yeah, I don't either, man. I don't either. Minshew, I mean, he was a game manager, but at the end of the day, you just know what his limit is. What do you think about Gabe Davis? I think he'd be a good addition if Buffalo doesn't want to re-sign him. Um, I mean, I would not mind Gabe Davis at all. Only question mark I have is like, what does he provide you in that scheme, because he's been um he's been second fiddle to Stephon Diggs the whole time, right? So I mean, obviously this year 45 catches for 746 yards, 16 and a half yards a catch, and 7 touchdowns. I mean, I totally think that he's a guy that 100% could, he's a guy that some games he could take over 100%. It's funny looking at that number now. Do you guys know that? Let me see if I can pull it up. I don't remember where I saw it, but somebody said that according to like everything, Alec Pierce was making catches of 16 and a half yards on average as well, which would have put him at 8th in the NFL in yards per catch based on certain metrics. So, I mean, you kind of have that situation for Alec Pierce. Just the problem that you had was you didn't have a quarterback to throw the football to him. Like you had Josh Allen with Gabe Davis, and that's the thing. And that was why, somebody brought up like the wide receiver help. I've been a huge proponent that the Indianapolis Colts need to add weaponry to the offense. I'm fully engulfed in that belief. And I don't think that anyone can sit here and say that the offense still doesn't need help. But as far as who might be the best option, like, is it best to get a wide receiver? Is it best to get is it best to get a tight end? Is it best to get another, whatever? I don't really know, but like, what's the best thing to do? And to be honest, I'm not 100% sure, but it will definitely be interesting to see where they go with that direction, even though I'm fully in agreement that the Colts need to address it either through free agency or the draft. Hunter Peterson with a $2 super chat. AR is going to help us take the South next year. Yes, sir. 100%. Indy's coming for that first place, baby. The division will be ours. The division will be ours. Bauer 15 or wide receiver, DE or cornerback. I'm not mad. I'm totally in agreement with you there, Zero Chill. I think that is the best thing that you can do if you're the Indianapolis Colts in that regard. Will they bring back Zach Moss? That's a great question. I have no idea, honestly. What do we got here? You think if the Colts grab Bauer at 15 that Jelani's future is in jeopardy? No, I don't believe that. If anything, I think that Jelani's future is definitely safe, at least as of now, until he gets healthy. I think the problem is it's just the health thing that's the issue. But outside of that, I mean, he is going to, if he gets back to being healthy, then he's going to be fine. He's a 6'7" guy that can jump out the building, run as fast as anyone else out there at the tight end position, has decent hands. He's a dynamic playmaker when he gets, especially into the red zone, right? It's It's not the issue of Jelani Woods. It's just the matter of, I think right now, if you were to put Bowers on that team, then it's no doubt that Bowers is tight end number 1 and Woods is still tight end number 2. We've been talking about it the whole time, is that Jelani's always been the number 1 since last year. It's just the fact that we haven't had it. That's the only thing. What's your honest opinion on Bauer? Oh, I love Brock Bowers, man. I think that people want to look at him and say he's a tight end, don't get him. My issue with that stance is I don't think that Brock Bowers is just I don't think he's just a tight end. And that's the thing. People just look at the position and keep telling me, "Oh, he's a tight end. Don't get another tight end." No, he's not just a tight end. He's a wide receiver in a tight end's body, right? He has phenomenal hands. He's got a knack for the football. He's a great open field runner. He knows what to do with the ball in his hands. He is just that guy. He's just special. So for me, I sit back and I tell myself that's what Bowers can do for you. Would you be upset with Cooper DeJean at 15, can play both safety and cornerback, day 1 starter, and special teams ace? I would have no problem with Cooper DeJean. If the Indianapolis Colts felt that Cooper DeJean was the best option for Indianapolis, then I'm 100% taking it, because I've heard a lot of great things about Cooper DeJean. I've heard a lot of great things about the scheme in which Cooper DeJean fits. And from what I'm hearing is that he is perfect for a cover 3 scheme like Gus Bradley's. So if you're Gus Bradley and you're Shane Steichen and you're sitting there and you're telling yourselves this is the direction we want to go, then that is what you should do. Cooper DeJean is bun, stiff, and slow. I mean, Cooper DeJean runs in the 4.4s. What are you talking about? That's not slow for a corner. That's your average corner. I don't know what you're talking about. He's 6'1", 207 pounds, so he's a big size. Runs in the high 4.4s. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand like what's so. I mean, especially when you look at a site like NFLDraftBuzz.com, they have him ranked overall as the number 1 corner in the whole thing. Seriously. You think AR is going to have a rookie blanket on him since he was out almost all year, or you think he's got to play like a year 2 guy? I think it's a little bit of both, because obviously we want to see Anthony Richardson improve. Yes, he did not play for the majority of the 2023 season, the vast majority of it, but we saw a little bit of him and some good things that he could do from the offense. We want to see him be more efficient. We want to see him taking care of himself. We want to see him just have a chance to explode into the scene like what we were seeing early on from Anthony Richardson. It's all just going to be about whether or not he is able to protect himself, stay healthy, and is he taking in the information that he's being given by Shane Steichen? And I firmly believe that he is. What made you choose the Colts as your team? It was mainly just growing up watching Peyton Manning. That's the big one. Used to watch a ton of him when my dad was first had me, and we were watching a lot of football, and it was a lot of Colts games. And we just fell in love with Peyton Manning, and that's pretty much how it went. What's up, Sarah? How you doing? To be honest, we don't even know how good we really are because our team has been hit by the injury bug, patiently waiting on seeing the day when all the pieces come together. I like what I see so far for sure. Totally agree with you. Release Molly Cox. I've been saying that from the get-go, man. He makes too much money for not enough impact. Some guys look good in practice and some guys are legit during the game. That's the difference between Ogletree and Woods. Smoky Dabs. Yo, Derek. Sorry I'm late. Been a while. How have you been? What's up, man? How you doing? I'm doing all right. Doing all right. Cannot complain at all. Nobody wants to hop into the stream, huh? I don't think anybody's seen any of the tweets I've been putting out. It's whatever. It's whatever. What's the future on Ryan Kelly? Well, I mean, it doesn't seem like he's going anywhere. They asked him about that at the end of the year, and he seemed almost frustrated that people kept asking him about whether or not he's gonna on whether or not he's actually going to retire or not. So doesn't sound like he's going anywhere. So zero chance he could keep Moss, Evan Hall coming. Well, and that's the reason. One of the reasons why I thought Indy might be doing that because you have Jonathan Taylor, who's the purpose back. You have Evan Hall, who can be a receiving back for you. It's definitely interesting to see what they do from that. Last couple of QBs have been okay, but not great. So with a few snaps that Mo has, how can we determine he's not good? We might be getting Titan Rossi in here. Moss wants to stay, but we'll have to take less. So I would say 25% chance. I'd say it's higher. I'd say it's close to 50-50 with Moss. We already know the running back market is terrible. I mean, Ballard already gave a huge contract to his running back in Jonathan Taylor, and we know who's running that ship. So I would highly doubt that Zach Moss is going out there saying, "Oh, I want $6, $7, $8 million a year." It's not going to happen. At least not with Indy. I highly doubt that Zach Moss gets it from anyone, but let alone with Indianapolis. So I don't think Zach Moss wants to actually have that much. I mean, I would be fine with saying, for another year, give me, $3 or $4 million and, just help, be able to do it from there. Should the Colts fire Chris Ballard? No, they 100% should not. Because Chris Ballard would immediately be picked up by about maybe a dozen teams in this league, because they would see Chris Ballard and see some of the picks that he's made. Bro, I don't think some of you quite understand just how bad that Ryan Grigson was, bro. I don't think some of you quite realize just how atrocious the drafting by Ryan Grigson was. It was terrible in comparison to Ryan Grigson, who only drafted 3 players in Indianapolis who ever made the All-Pro list. Only 3. Chris Ballard almost had that many in his second draft with the Indianapolis Colts. He's drafted so many really good players. I am not saying that Ballard has been perfect by any stretch of the imagination. He sometimes has been too stubborn and has gotten in his own way. But to say right now that he should be fired is quite honestly pretty laughable, to be honest with you. Can Kenny play safety? No, I don't think so, and I doubt he will be. 5.9 is to keep Moss, or a big part of Moore's first year to re-signing. What up, Hamlin? How you doing? Bruce, dude, we did not. Apparently Rossi isn't going to be able to. Apparently Rossi isn't able to get on. That's unfortunate. Oh well, not a big deal, man. So are we drafting Keon Coleman or Brock Bowers with their first pick? If I had to choose one of them, I'm choosing Brock Bowers. 9 times out of 10, I'm choosing Brock Bowers. 100%. So you guys can ask me why I feel that way, but I'm definitely doing that. Titan Rossi's in the building. What free agent wide receiver would you like to come to Indianapolis? Honestly, there's not a lot of them that I actually do want them to come back, or come to Indy. I highly doubt that there's really a situation where we get one in free agency. Might be, but I doubt it. Do you think this might be his last chance, Ballard's? I would say that if over the next year or two that the roster does not improve and this team continues to miss the playoffs time in and time again because it's glaring that the team is not performing because the players aren't good, then yes. And honestly, I think we're going to figure out very soon if Anthony Richardson is the culprit for that. I have all the confidence in the world in Anthony Richardson, but if Anthony Richardson doesn't pan out, then ultimately Ballard's gone. 100%. The only argument for firing Ballard right now is that he didn't address corner depth during the season. Yeah, during the season. That's the only thing, and it's not easy to do that. Julio, the one other pick that was actually good was Ryan Kelly. Ryan Kelly was a Grigson pick. So that's one of the only 3 that Grigson has ever had that's actually been really good. And I'm not even talking like guys that started on the team. You could get guys that start on the team. They do that all the time. But the draft picks, none of those guys were good outside of Luck, Hilton, and Kelly. Derek, I may have missed it, but would you do everything in your power to trade up and get Marvin Harrison Jr.? No, I would not do that. I love Marvin Harrison Jr., man, but I do believe you can get a really good wide receiver in this draft class, not having to trade away your immediate future and long-term future to go and get him. I don't have to trade away 2 first rounders and more to go and get a wide receiver. I mean, you could even move up a few more spots and be able to get a wide receiver there rather than and not have to give up your a first rounder next year to be able to do that, right? So that's what it is. Yeah, totally agree. Ryan Kelly is the only player left from the Grigson era. Yep, pretty much. Good. That's good, Hamlin. Moore is at least making around 10 million a year. Yeah, I could definitely see that number being about what maybe he gets. I totally agree. It will be interesting to see what Kenny Moore is going to get. And who knows? Maybe Ballard doesn't want to give him that. And maybe Kenny Moore decides he doesn't want to take it and he wants to go test his luck somewhere else. It's very possible. Nate Wiggins. I see what it is. Coleman sucks. Yeah, he does. Colts will milk that new Jonathan Taylor contract to death. He was 5th in yards per game last year. He'll be running back 2 behind McCaffrey. Can't pay Moss. Pay MPJ, Kenny, and Grove. Well, no doubt that they will try. That's for sure. I agree, Mark. If Jim Irsay can't function as the owner, how different will Kylie be? That's a great question. And I really don't even want to really think about that right now because, as far as we know, Jim Irsay is still around and, he's getting great care and, all things considered, is taking care of himself. It's an unfortunate situation that we found ourselves in with Jim Irsay. Hopefully, we see him back here soon. But in the unfortunate event that something does happen with Jim Irsay, I mean, that will definitely be interesting. I don't know what the Indianapolis Colts would do, or at least what the Irsay family would do. But we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see, but we'll come to that when we get to it. I don't even really want to think about, what could potentially happen with that sort of situation because it's just not worth it. Could we sign Mike Evans? We could. I mean, I doubt that it would happen though. Run it back with the same D line or sign an elite vet pass rusher. Oh, I'm 100% in favor of signing an elite vet pass rusher, but I mean, are we actually able to do that though? I have no idea. I doubt we'd be able to. Okay, so you and Cody can buy the team if Irsay doesn't recover. Nah, fam, I don't have even close to that kind of money. I don't even have 0.001% of that man's money. But nah, Irsay will be all right. Oh, here was something that I don't remember who posted it, but we posted this on Twitter and said, who impressed and disappointed you the most for the Colts in 2023? So in the comments, guys, go ahead and do that. Who impressed you the most? And who disappointed you the most in 2023? I'd love to see your guys' thoughts on that. Brian Burns, bro. I would love it. I don't get Twitter. Yeah, who impressed and who disappointed you the most? Impressed by Downs, disappointed in Pierce. Well, I just don't understand the disappointment in Pierce because we're acting as if Pierce was at fault for why he wasn't being thrown the football. He was never being thrown the football. The safeties except Julian Blackmon. I agree. MPJ impressed, disappointed in Minshew. Leonard disappointment, impressed Zach Moss. Yeah, the Leonard one was definitely a disappointment for me, and it's only a disappointment for me because I really wanted him to be back to what he was, and to see him, he had way too many drops in crucial moments. His drop numbers were down. I don't, he was, I don't understand, guys. Like, yes, the numbers were down, but I mean, you're not seeing the play, you're not seeing the game from the fact that Minshew had him open 3 or 4 times down the field every single game and he never hits it. What crucial moments? I'd love to know what crucial moments this year where Alec Pierce lost us the game because he dropped a pass. Please inform me. Impressed by Bernard Ryman, disappointed by Kwity Paye. Okay. I mean, I could say I could see why you would say Paye like in general, but this year was his best year by a long shot. How was that a disappointment? Was impressed by Downs, disappointed in and Speed's costly mistakes. Yeah, I'd agree with that one. Would you like the Colts to bring back Rigoberto Sanchez? Yes. Pierce would be open and Minshew wouldn't see him. Yeah. 100%. I don't know. Pierce did pretty good in the second Titans game. Literally had 3 catches for 100 yards and a touchdown in that game. Like, I don't understand. We sat back and literally said Indy needs to throw the football to him more frequently. And yet still Minshew did not throw him the ball the next few weeks after that. It's insane. Impressed with Samson and Bukum, disappointed in Blake Freeland. Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I could see it. I mean, I don't know what more else we should expect from a rookie right tackle, but I mean, I get it. It wasn't great. He was a ghost every week. But again, I want you to tell me why. It's not because he sucked. It's because Minshew couldn't throw the football to him. He never got him the football. The few times he actually tried to get Alec Pierce involved, he actually was involved in the game plan. He was open. I can show you guys so many clips of Alec Pierce being missed down the field. We need to bring back Paris Campbell. Hey. Happy feet Minshew, bro. Tell you what, man. Give Pierce one more year, see how he does with a healthy Richardson, and then decide if he's a bust or not. Yeah, I'm in total agreement with you there. What'd you think of Will Mallory this season? I thought Will Mallory was great. I think we need to get him the football a lot more. Just joined and already agree with you, Derek. Appreciate you, Donald. Yeah, man. I mean, it's something, man. Let me tell you. What's up, Blake? Who would be the tight end one going into next year? Jelani Woods if he's healthy. Do you think we should should draft a corner or get one in free agency? I think we should draft another corner and then pick up a safety in free agency. Do Colts take a wide receiver or cornerback first round? Knowing Ballard, probably cornerback first, but there are opportunities early on that if the right weapon is available for the Indianapolis Colts, then they would take him. He had 3 receptions for 30 yards in that game, Bruce. I mean, I don't know what. I mean, I can look at the game against Atlanta. I mean, yeah, he was targeted 7 times, and I mean, obviously he didn't have an amazing game, but I mean, I could try to look for the drop total, but I mean, just because targets doesn't always mean that means that there were catches. I mean, at the end of the day, it all depends upon how you use him, and he had the second most catches in the game that day. Wiggins, nobody else. So that's interesting because, like, okay, so if you guys had to pick 3 players in no particular order, if you had to pick 3 players with that 15th overall pick and you think that the Colts would have a chance to get them, tell me which one of them you would like. I'll put mine in here too. I'll put Kool-Aid McKinstry. Yeah, and I mean a lot of people thought that Kool-Aid McKinstry is going to be quarterback number 1. So it'll be interesting to see how that shapes up for them. No first rounder on a corner. Okay. Well, Travis, I'd love to know, like, who would you choose? Who would you choose at first pick then? If you're not going with a corner. Dallas Turner. I've heard some people talk about that. Yo, I'm gonna tell you what. I think Destin Adams actually loves Dallas Turner. I think he said Dallas Turner is actually his number one edge guy in this draft class. Does the fact Pittman said he wanted you, to see what is out there in free agency scare you? No, actually it doesn't, because even if he thinks that there's a better offer out there for him and he thinks it's a way better offer than what the Colts would give him, I could see Ballard using the franchise tag. Don't see any way that, yes, they're going to honor Michael Pittman's request to allow him to see what's out there. But I highly doubt that Ballard allows him to leave the building. 100%. Sounds like Anthony is trying to rush his recovery. Doesn't sound like that at all. I mean, he said he's got another month or so or another half month at least of chatting and rehabbing, and then next month he can try to start throwing again. So I don't see that as rushing. I think we can get a corner in free agency. I go wide receiver. It's a deep class. Well, then Travis, I would say to you, I mean, that might be a reason why you would go with wide receiver later, because if it's a deep class and in that second round, or maybe even the third round, you got some really good wide receivers that are still there on the board, then why not take the cornerback that you know is not going to be there in that second round or that third round? Heard Pittman just bought a farm. Don't know if it's true or not. Yeah, I think I saw that too. He was showing off some farm equipment. Yeah, it'll definitely be, he definitely needs that money, man, to update some of that equipment, man, for real. You guys think we go and get a linebacker in the third round? No, I don't think so. You got EJ Speed, you got Zaire Franklin, you have those draft picks, and you have guys even, I mean, you got guys on that back burner that, you know, that I think that ultimately you'd feel confident in what you have on there right now. Shane's position of say so grown with this draft upcoming. Yeah, I think Cody and I were talking about this the other day. You know, the whole reason why the Indianapolis Colts drafted a guy like Josh Downs is because of Shane Steichen and Reggie Wayne and what they think they can do, because that's the whole point. Is Ballard would never have drafted Ballard would never have drafted Josh Downs had it just been him and his group and the previous regime. So, I mean, to sit there and think that, you know, I definitely think that Shane Steichen and this group has a much higher say-so in what they have, because, I mean, ultimately, Ballard said, we're going to trust this coach. We're going to trust their input and this coaching staff, and we're going to go through the process. And I think that Shane Steichen and this group is a lot more adamant in what they want. And what they want is going to help them win the games. And Josh Downs helped them win games last year. So, no doubt, I would say, like, when it comes to the players, Anthony Richardson was probably a mutual decision by the coaching staff and Ballard. Juju Brent's probably a Ballard guy. Josh Downs, 100% a Shane Steichen guy. So it's one of those situations where I do believe Shane Steichen's going to have a lot more say so in what they do with this football team. I'm very sure of it. So it might change some things up. It might change some things up with the strategy and free agency and the draft if Ballard is saying that, hey, I'm going to trust my coach, and what he's telling me is this player is going to drastically impact this team. So I'm going to do that. I honestly think there could be a situation where the Colts don't re-sign Grover because he's going to be 30 and he didn't play that much in 2023 with a suspension. Listen, the suspension will have nothing to do with it. Nothing. I think Colts fans, the fact you would even bring up the suspension is, it should not be brought up. It has nothing. It does nothing for the discussions of Ballard and this group. If anything, bringing up the suspension only hurts the Colts' morale and their ability to re-sign Grover to a lesser deal. Because, yes, he got suspended, but it was because of a stupid chicken that was from a different country that was injected with something that he didn't know was in there when he ate it. So let's forget, stop acting like Grover did anything illegal. It was ridiculous. It's stupid. But it goes to show you just how bad the Colts' run defense was without Grover Stewart. So that's where you get into trouble, is because then you start sitting there and you start telling yourself this team is not as good defensively without Grover Stewart. And that's what that suspension showed. Reggie Wayne guy, 100%. Probably only going to be on here, guys, for another couple minutes at most. Because I want to get back to doing some stuff here later tonight. But go ahead and fire away some last questions, guys, or comments, and we will go ahead and move forward here. We need Brian Burns. I agree. How would you go draft? I would best player available at 15. Regardless of the position. If it's wide receiver, if it's tight end, if it's edge rush or corner, best player available at that time, go with that. And then go the opposite in the second round and third rounds. That would be me. That's how I would draft. You think there's any chance Ballard trades up for Bowers? Yes, if he felt that he could get him and that he feels that strongly about him, yeah, 100%. Do you agree with Zaire Franklin if Marvin falls out of top 5? Oh, 100%. But I highly doubt that ever happens. I wonder if we could get him for a third at the least. Panthers are in a bad draft spot. I'm fine with saying, like, Panthers come and take like 2 of our seconds. I'm perfectly fine with saying, bro, give me Brian Burns for a couple seconds. I'll even throw in a third if I have to. You know what? I'm even tempted to say, give me him for your first. I don't even care. Brian Burns, if he's available and the Panthers are that desperate to get something out of him, I want Brian Burns. I don't know if a first is it. A first might be too much. Maybe. But a couple seconds, yes. I'm totally down for it. TC Ballard getting fired during the offseason. No, it's not happening. Sign and trade deal with Pittman for Burns. Well, Burns, no, there's no shot that Pittman gets traded for Burns. Never going to happen. Never going to happen. But I would 100% be willing to trade some other stuff. I'd be willing to say give him Kwity Paye and a second or third for it. 100%. Or, some other thing like that. I'd be down for that. 100%. A player and a draft pick? Easy for Brian Burns. Easy. Last couple minutes here, guys. If you have some questions that you'd like to have answered, feel free. Just about finished here. Again, shout out to everybody who is tuning in today. Greatly appreciated. Be sure to hit the like button on your way out if you guys are heading out. Sign Chase Young, trade Kwity Paye for a pick. I'd be okay with that, honestly. You think that if the rumors of Pickens wanting out of Pittsburgh, he would come to the Colts? 100% no. And he doesn't fit the mold, and Ballard would not want him. Does Washington's new management mean a fire sale? It definitely could. It definitely could. They got new coach over there. They got new different everything. I mean, it's gonna be different over there. So definitely could see some moves there. I have to be honest with you guys. I was never really an NBA fan when I talked about the Pacers podcast. Gotcha. If you're going to move on from Pittman, this is the draft to do it. We're not moving on from Pittman. It's not happening. What positions would you believe will be traded first? I'm not 100% sure what you mean by that. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this stream, guys. Thank you for everybody who is tuning in. We've been going live here for about an hour. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Record for next season, I'm going to go 10-7. I could see them definitely going 10-7 next year and making the playoffs. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Be sure to hit the like button on your way out. Thank you to everybody tuning in. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Saturday evenings. Be sure to like, be sure to comment, be sure to subscribe. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, go Colts.